All right, you're welcome to Math Online Tutorial. This is a question, a quadratic question. It says that solve x squared plus 8x plus 15 equals 0. Okay, we're going to be using the factorization method of solving the quadratic equation to solve this equation. All right, so when we have a quadratic equation, of course, we have the first term, which is the algebraic term with the power of 2, just like we have there. We have the second term, the algebraic term with the power of 1, and then we have the constant, which is the third term. So the first step is to pick the first term and multiply with the constant. So we have x squared times 15. So that gives us what? 15x squared. So we have 15x squared. All right, so the next thing to do now is to find two numbers that two values that when the values are multiplied together we'll get this result here, and then when the two values are added together we'll get the middle term, which is plus 8x. All right, so what are the numbers we are looking at here? So we determine these two numbers by writing out the factors of 15 such that the two numbers that can be multiplied together to have a 15. So the first set of numbers are 1 and 15. That is, when we multiply 1 by 15, we get 15. And then the other one is 3 and 5. That is, when we multiply 3 and 5 together, we get 15. When we multiply 3 and 5 together, we get 15. All right, but we need just a pair, I mean a set of numbers. So we are going to strike out 1. So how do we do that? This is where the middle term comes in, that is the second term. So so the addition of these two numbers we have obtained must give us 8. So if it doesn't give us an 8, then it means that we can't make use of it. So if you look at these two numbers, 1 and 15, if you add 1 to 15, there's no how you can get 8. So it means that this cannot be what we need. So we'll strike that out. But look at 3 and 5. When we add 3 to 5, it is very definite that we will get an 8. So it means that this is what we're going to work with. Then we add the letters, which are x. So and then since the sign here is plus, the sign here is plus and the sign here is also plus, so it means that would have plus plus. So the next thing to do now is to rewrite this equation. This equation here we're going to rewrite, and then once we rewrite, we remove the 8x and we impute 3x and 5x. So the idea is that we want to factorize and would need 4 times in total for us to be able to factorize. So that is why we splitted 8x so that we can have 4 times in total. So we're going to rewrite the equation now, which is x squared. Now instead of the 8x, we're going to impute plus 3x plus 5x, then plus 15 equals 0. So then we can now factorize this equation. Now we pick this equation in twos, that is, we group them into 2, then we factorize individually. So the first group, we have x squared and 3x. So how do we factorize x squared and 3x? So what is common to x squared and 3x is x. So we put the x outside the bracket, then we divide the values by x. So x squared divided by x is x, plus 3x divided by x is 3. We close the bracket, then we move to the next group, which is 5x plus 15. So what is common to 5x and 15 is 5. So 5x divided by 5, we have x. Then 15 divided by 5, we have 3, equals 0. So you see we've been able to factorize the two groups of numbers. So the next thing to do now is, now you will see that we have the same value inside the two brackets. So we have the same values inside the bracket. So we just pick one of the brackets, which is x plus 3, and then we pick this value outside the bracket for the first grouping and the second inside. So match the two together inside the bracket, which is x plus 5, and then it equals to 0. So the next thing to do now is to take each of the bracket and equate them to 0. So we have x plus 3 equals 0, and or x plus 5 equals 0. So the idea is that we want to make x the subject of the formula. So we're going to remove 3 from here and take it to the other side. Same thing, we remove 5 here and take it to the other side. So that is x. Now when 3 crosses over the equals sign, it changes to minus. So we have x equals to 0 minus 3, or x equals to 0 minus 5. So x equals to 0 minus 3 gives us minus 3, or x equals to 0 minus 5 gives us minus 5. So you can see we can conveniently say that the answers to the quadratic equation is minus 3 and minus 5. So this is a way by which you can solve your quadratic equation using the factorization method. So you can also go through and then just follow the steps, and then you would see that this is a very simple method to solve quadratic equation with. All right. So you can, if you have any question, you can always make use of the comment section so that we can address your question. So you can solve this and then you send your answer to us via the comment box, and then we'll check. If you are correct, we're going to mark you right, and if you are not, we'll give you the solution to the question. So thank you very much. This is the question you have to solve. So we have x squared plus 15x, plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. So solve that quadratic equation and then drop your answer in the comment box. So thank you very much for joining. Please like, share, comment, and make sure you subscribe and follow us on every other social media platform. This is Math Online Tutorial. Thank you very much for joining, and bye for now.